Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with another Scrapbook Process video using my Hello Summer Stash Kit. And here I'm showing everything that I pulled from my stash kit for this layout. I'm primarily using the Summer Simple Stories. I believe this was the Summer Vibes collection. And we are going to do some fun mixed media on this layout. And again, if you've seen my recent videos with mixed media, I'm going to say again that this is a super easy technique, and I totally encourage you, if you don't do mixed media, try something like this. It doesn't get any simpler. So I'm going through and I'm showing you all the colors that I pulled, and I actually have a cut file that I cut on my silhouette that I'm going to use, and all I'm going to do is I'm simply going to paint some different pieces from those items that I die cut from my silhouette. Like I said, it does not get more simple. I will leave the cut file in the description below. I believe this one was from, I think this is a Paper Issues, but I will link it below so you'll be able to pick it up if you don't, or if you would like it, or you're looking for it. And I left in the whole process for all the coloring that I'm doing. Like I said, it's very simple and it's very quick. While you're watching me kind of go through and paint each one of these pieces, I'm literally just using a white paper as well, just so you're aware. It's white paper, there's no gesso on it. I'm not using a ton of water, and like I said, super simple mixed media in the fact that I'm using a little bit of water, one paintbrush, and the colors that I've chosen. Can't get any simpler. There's no technique at all. So while you're watching me sort of paint each one of these in, I will try to tell you each of the colors that I'm using. So the red that I used was called Real Red from Stampin' Up. It's one of their regular inks, so I don't even have to have paints or shimmers or any of those sort of things. Even if I just have ink and I add a little bit of water, totally works. The yellow is from Ranger, and it is called, I don't see a name, Lemon Twist. The green is Electric Lime. The purple that I pull is Laid Back Lilac from Dilutions, and the green is a paint dauber as well from Ranger. The colorings that I have in the spray that you saw me spray down there is Well Blew Me Down, and that's a colorings from Shimmers. I have a Lindy Stamp Gang in Mango Mania, that's the orange. The blue that you see in the little pot there that I'm using is the Boogie Boardin' Blue from Shimmers, and that's a Creamies. And I believe that the pink was, it was Coral Reef, which is an inkling from Shimmers. And I believe that is all the colors. So there I'm just coloring up the last one of my circles in that pink, and that is all that I do for this mixed media. Like I said, it's super, super simple. I mean, you can't get an easier technique than that. If you can put paint on a shape, that is totally as easy as it gets. So once I colored all of those bits and pieces, I left all of my colors out because I had shown at the beginning, I pulled a stamp set, and I believe it was from My Favorite Things, and it was just a whole bunch of sort of ink splatters and splashes that you could use to stamp splashes of color on your page. So what I ended up doing is I took one of the stamps that was kind of like a big splosh of paint, and I'm literally taking the colors that I'm using, and I am just taking it and painting. If it's a wetter, one of the wetter colors, I'm just painting it on with the paintbrush. The paint, I just dipped it in and then sort of took a little of the excess off and stamped it right on the page. Not looking for perfection. I'm really looking for just a fun, I literally slapped down a whole bunch of color just all over. I'm actually keeping it sort of in three somewhat clusters on the page, but nonetheless, I'm going for that, it's not perfect. I'm literally kind of just randomly stamping it down and just making it look fun and playful, because that's really what I'm going for. And when you see my photos and whatnot, you'll understand that that was really all that this layout was going for, was just a simple, fun background. And the other thing that I'm doing here is I took that second stamp set, which was a honeybee stamp set, and I just stamped the word color, and that is going to be part of my title. And it has the word there, you just saw it really quick, and it leaves an open spot. So I just colored in each of the letters with one of the colors that I was using on my paint palette. And the last thing that I do to my background is I'm just going to take each of the colors and I'm just going to splatter them around, because hey, if you're going to have paint, it's never perfect and it always splatters everywhere. And so it's the perfect thing to add to the background, is just no rhyme or reason. I'm literally just taking the colors and sort of, sprinkling them all over randomly on the page. So it made for a very fun, sort of colorful background. And here I'm taking this orange piece of pattern paper from that Summer Vibes collection, and I am cutting the two sides off so that I can mat my 12 by 12, which I've cut down to about 11 and a half, I believe, so I can take that orange paper and just mount it on the two sides. I didn't want to do a full all the way around border, but I liked it just having it on the two corners. And my photos are going to go down here in this left, or bottom right, I should say, corner of the page. So that's kind of why I did it to that side of the page. So now that everything's dry and I've sort of decided where my photos are going to go, and I cut another strip that's going to go behind my photos, I'm not matting the photos exactly. I'm just using this one strip of pattern paper behind them. Because this background is quite busy, there's a lot going on, I definitely don't add a whole lot, and you'll see that here, because that paint palette is large and the colors, there's a whole lot going on, so this layout doesn't need a lot. So if you see there in the photos, you'll see why I chose to do this paint palette. It might be hard to tell, but my kids are both they were at a party, and one of the activities they had for the kids was painting. They had frames, little canvas frames that they could paint, or they had little, what are they, the little ceramic sort of things that you can get at Michael's and the craft stores that you can then paint them. So they had some of those, and my son was doing a car and my daughter did like one of the canvas frames. So I decided that I would document these with, of course, a paint palette and all the colors, because you can't go wrong with lots of colors when you're painting. So there you see, I've gone ahead and glued everything down. I have a paintbrush there that goes with the palette that I added in, and then those paint splotches that I colored in the three colors, the orange, the blue, and the green, I made those sort of my clusters for this layout. And basically what I'm trying to do is, in each one of those clusters, I just went through the embellishments that I pulled, and I just chose the colors that matched the splat of paint that was going to go in each one of the clusters. So once I've done that, my title, the other part to my title, I should say, you can see I cut out the word color and it goes at the top, but the other half of my title was this word happy that I put down at the bottom, and that came from the sticker sheet. But because it was kind of in a banner shape, I took a piece of twine and I just curled it around and I put the title on that just to add a little extra detail. So apart from that, the last thing I do here is just add my title. This layout, I do add journaling here, you can see in the still photos, and that pretty much ends this process video. This is a pretty busy layout, but I do love how it came together, and the colors and everything, it just makes you smile when you look at all those colors. So that's it for this one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.